Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you learn to make more money in less time and have a lot more fun. My name is Paul Sanneman. I'm your host. I'm founder of Contractor Staffing Source. We help contractors build great teams. My guest today is Erin from Level Accounting and Advisory. So, Erin, what do you guys do?
What do we do? Well, we specifically work with trades, like contractors in the trades for smaller businesses, probably like $1 million to $7 million. But we really help the business owners and the businesses with their accounting on a regular basis, tax planning, projections, getting really good, clean monthly reports, helping them just sort of on their back end for accounting, not only stay in compliance, but also just give them insight into their business with reports and things like that. So we're sort of there as their back office accounting department.
Okay. So in construction, I'm going to say there's sort of like there's, data entry, bookkeeping, accounting, whatever that is, and then CFO. So there's sort of different levels of advice that happen in the back end of a construction company. What do you guys do? You do all three, or do you just do one of the? What do you guys do as far as those are concerned?
We go from the very basic to just sort of like data entering books, reconciling, running payroll. To we do have some advisory level services, not CFO. So we're not in their business day to day. It's more high strategic, like, hey, I want to buy this warehouse. What does that look like cash flow wise? Can I afford it? Do I have the profit for it? Or I want to hire employees. What does that look like? So not really the CFO level, but sort of the levels below it. And tax planning is also huge. I think that's sort of not thought of when people think of making money and being profitable, but the tax side as well.
Right. Now, one of the problems I have is a lot of people have an accountant who they have like 500 clients and one is a contractor, right? So not a lot. And when it comes to doing like work in progress, they sort of don't have a clue on how to do work in progress because none of the other clients have that, right? Yeah. It's very confusing an accounting side to keep track of that stuff. So I assume you guys are experts in construction, so you know how to do those things that your quote average accountant who doesn't do that very often knows how to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, those are really called generalist firms. So we did start out as one years and years ago, but then we totally niched down into the contractor field for that reason. We liked working with them, and then there's also just specialized accounting terms and things like that you need to know working with them. We wanted to be able to actually really help a specific industry, and contractors were them.
Okay, now what are the typical, I'm sure you've cleaned up messes, right? You come in and maybe not in boxes anymore, but it's a gazillion Excel spreadsheets or something. What do you see are the biggest mistakes that small contractors make when it comes to accounting and back end?
First biggest mistake is ignoring their accounting, probably just sort of, I don't really need to deal with this. It's not a big deal. And then they're just getting their taxes done once a year. So they have no tax planning. So they're just literally throwing away money by not doing tax planning. The other one is probably trying to save money by having their books done internally by like their spouse or their mother's sister's best friend. People that aren't accountants, there are bookkeepers out there that can do the work, but we rarely actually see someone hire someone internally that can do the books well and actually give really good information. A lot of people hire like an admin and they say, oh, she can do the bookkeeping. In reality, that's not true. So I would say pay attention and make sure you actually have the bookkeeping done, but then hire the right people to do it. Don't try to cheap out on your accounting because in the long run, it costs you a lot of money in decisions. Like you want to be able to make decisions using your numbers, but also, again, I keep talking about tax, but on the tax side as well.
So one of the things I believe that should happen and most contractors don't know is, like I use the Taco Bell example. PepsiCo can tell you whether Taco Bell made or lost money every 2 hours in every Taco Bell in the country, and where a Mamma Mia's pizza shop doesn't know which made money until next year, right? So the problem is your decisions are only as good as your information.
Yes.
And my experience is most contractors can't tell you weekly, especially with work in progress, whether they made or lost money on a weekly basis. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes. I don't think they can tell you on a monthly basis. A lot of them.
I guess that's true.
I'm serious.
And so what happens, your decisions are only as good as your information, right? So what happens to a lot of these guys is they end up, their labor goes over and whatever, and they can't fix it. Then they try to hit the client up for change orders. The client doesn't want to pay it, and their accounting isn't accurate, and they don't find out until it's too late that,
yes,
I'm over budget and I can't fix it.
This is true.
So you can help people with that problem, right?
Yes. Yeah. And like also just in implementing the systems too, we try to, maybe all of it can't be done in their accounting system. Maybe it's they want like something like a JobTread or some type of specific program, CRM they can do that kind of stuff in there. But the systems in place are what's really important to get that data out of, so you can actually make the decisions and have that all there.
Now, what's happened a lot of times is people, I would call organic software, like they buy JobTread, then everybody has QuickBooks, and then they buy some CRM. It could be Salesforce. And there's all these systems that sort of don't talk to each other, right? And so they have more information they could possibly ever use, but they don't know how to get to it. They don't know how to use it. Do you help organize all that?
To an extent, we do. A lot of people, what we see is they automatically integrate. For some reason, QuickBooks seems to be the central hub for a lot of these businesses and all these programs that can integrate. So you can integrate your CRM with it. You can integrate like your marketing CRM. You can integrate like your project management, JobTread or something. And they use that as a central hub. And in reality, it actually can really break things because they don't have any plan behind it. It just says, you have QuickBooks, integrate this app. And they do it, and it actually causes major problems. So what we do is we sort of dissect what's in their accounting. Then they have like their CRM, their JobTread, project management, let's say. I'm just using JobTread as an example, just because I am.
Right.
And then we either separate them or say, hey, this needs to be completely changed. And so on that level, yes, we do.
So because they sort of don't know what they don't know, I think that's a problem. And so when it comes to this information, a lot of people do it internally because they're trying to save money, if you know what I mean. Well, I'll have my wife do my books, or have my sister-in-law, or somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing. I'm sure you've cleaned that up. What are the typical mistakes that somebody doesn't know what they're doing make in the accounting side?
A lot. So one thing, if you are integrating like your job, your like a CRM type thing for where you're doing estimates, that can actually, we've seen it triple revenue. So they don't know how to receive payments, make deposits, things like that. So we've actually had people with tax bills, massive tax bills, because someone just decided to integrate it and it didn't work. So that's one of the mistakes a lot of DIYers make. They just don't understand accounting, really. Like they just don't know it. So they don't know like shareholder distributions, as an example, or owner draws are not expenses. Those are, balance sheet items, or they don't even have cost of goods. So obviously with contractors, you need to have cost of goods. In other industries, you might not need to, but just basic things like that, they're not reconciling properly, or they just force things, all sorts of things, all sorts.
Well, I know a lot of contractors that I save on cash or accrual, and they go, what's the difference between cash and accrual? And they've been in business for 10 years. I go, oh, come on. Right? And so it's sort of what gets them in trouble is what they don't know, right? They just make decisions based on inaccurate numbers, like they don't understood work in progress, and they'll end up taking a bunch of money that they haven't even made yet and paying taxes on it. And they're going, how come I have this giant tax bill? I mean, typically what happens with contractors, I looked up something, most contractors don't make money statistically, which is really bad. I mean, like they did some survey, and out of 100,000 contractors, like almost none made any real money because of they don't know how to figure what money is. They're taking a paycheck and they go from being a craftsman to an entrepreneur. They don't understand profit and what that really is, and they take a paycheck, and all of a sudden they end up saying, well, I've had this business for 3 years and I don't see any better off than I was before. Have you seen that happen? I'm not making any more money. Things haven't really changed.
Oh yeah. I mean, you just said like technicians will go and start a business. This happens with every industry, right? I'm really good at baking, so I'm going to open a bakery. Right. It definitely happens with the contractors. Also, I also think there's a larger challenge with them as well, because they're not sitting at desks all day too. So their minds really aren't focused on that sort of paperwork side of the business either. So their brains, I do think contractors are actually generally very good at numbers because they have to do all the math and things like that. But they don't, like you said, they don't know what they don't know. So if they don't know how much money they're making or losing, it just obviously causes a lot of problem. But yes, 100%. These technicians go in there thinking they can run a business. In reality, they're just really, really good at the work. They're not good at running the business.
Right. I mean, then they make some of the wrong decisions because the information, they think they're making money and they're not.
Yeah.
Because they haven't figured the cost in right and that kind of thing. So what happens is it's at the end of the year, they go, well, it says I made whatever, $200,000 and I'm broke. Why is that? Right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's so funny when it's not funny, actually. It's kind of, we don't like this. We hate oh crap, you made all this money last year in March. And we hate that. We don't like that. We want to talk about that at least by now. So, we don't want that surprise. It's like, oh, I made $200,000. Where's the money? It's like, well, then you actually need to look at your balance sheet because you took it all out. Just because it wasn't in your bank didn't mean you didn't make it.
Right. So I think those are, now, how do you charge for your services, and do you offer like weekly or monthly advice? If you're going to become maybe not the CFO, but certainly maybe the controller kind of person that helps them make better decisions, how do you charge for what you do?
So first, our first focus is to get some of those smaller clients that really they don't have any clean set of books at all. Like they can't rely on any data. They have nothing. That's our first goal, is actually to get those people up and running with just cash basis, good reports, good books that we can do tax planning with, and they can make decisions. So that's step one. So how we do that is all of our clients are on a monthly subscription-based service. They're assigned a team, and how we do the pricing, it just depends on how large their business is, the complexity with transactions and things like that, number of bank accounts, and obviously how much services are involved. And then it goes up from there. So then I don't like a client to come to us if they don't have any of the foundation set up first and then immediately want to do an advisory type thing. I don't think that's fair. I think they should get the foundations right first and then focus on the advisory. So then the advisory, honestly, most of our clients, so we don't act like a coaching company. Like there's other coaching companies that are really good out there that meet with them a lot more frequently. Our clients typically work with us quarterly to do higher level strategic calls that usually do tie into tax as well as longer term goals and like kind of what they want to accomplish and talk through their business. So that's do
you have them some kind of a weekly or monthly dashboard that they'll look at and say, yes, I made or lost money this month and know why?
Not a dashboard. No, I would love one. QuickBooks would love if QuickBooks came up with them. We do have some customized reporting though that provide dashboard financials, not on a live basis. I would love that. There are some programs in the accounting world that offer that, but you have to be really, really in their books a lot more than we are, and it's very high level. So we do have dashboard level reports on a monthly basis.
Okay. So I know whether I made or lost money each month and why, right?
For sure.
And I know what's like in work in progress and what's not, and what I can, whether I'm making or losing on, you do by job, I'm making or losing money on this job and I know why, right?
Yeah. So we like to have them, we like to pull, job profitability reports as part of the reports, either through their CRM or a lot of them, our clients don't really do it through QuickBooks because we want them to use a program that's really, really built for their industry. I think QuickBooks is not the right place to do all of it.
Right. So hopefully their project manager, their system actually says job by job, whether you made or lost money, how much you've spent, how much you have left to spend.
Exactly.
And actually they can make a decision like, oh my God, we're halfway through the project and we spent all the labor. This is not good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So, and you said the range, give me a range between X and Y, just so people have some idea of like a little business versus,
I think we're like, our lowest is around $850 a month. And then our highest is $7,000 a month. Just depends. Right. So yeah, we do have some startup packages though. Like if you're very startup and you have like a really small business, we do have that. That's like under $300 a month, I think.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So if people want to get in touch with you, Erin, how do they do that?
Well, I'm all over the social media platforms. So Erin Andrews or Erin H. Andrews. I have a pretty big following on Facebook, but our website, levelaccountingfirm.com. And you can also email us at info@levelaccountingfirm.com. But yeah, if you just type it in, Level Accounting Firm, we should come up.
Okay, now it says schedule a call on your website. Do they get to talk to you? Who do they talk to when they schedule a call?
I have a business development rep. His name is Justice.
Okay, and he can help them decide whether, because everybody this time of year is going, oh, am I losing money? I don't have information. And am I going to owe a ton in taxes? Am I not going to owe money in taxes? And it's sort of like, this is when everybody thinks about it too late, right? Like, oh my God.
For sure.
If you're not happy with your current level of information in your accounting side, I would give everyone a call. So thanks for being here. I think it's a big problem in the industry, and this isn't something you want to try to do yourself, in my opinion, because it will cost you way more than you will save.
Yes. And like they say, like, what is it, planting a tree? The best time was to start 10 years ago. The second best time is now. Same thing with accounting. Don't just wait until next year because you think it's better. Start immediately, right away if you can.
Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate being here.
Thank you.